I love how y'all have selective hearing. I said I'm hearing if they don't give us what we want, we sitting out. And that's the truth. Good.
This is the same person that literally said she didn't know what her WNBA salary was and that it didn't even cover her rent. Angel Reese makes at least $5 million a year.
Angel Reese just made one of the most absurd demands in WNBA history. She's out there making layups, struggling in almost every game, and getting into arguments with opponents because she feels like she should be paid NBA level. If that wasn't enough, she even threatened to lock out if the league didn't comply with her demands.
Because I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sitting out.
That's a possibility.
I guarantee you, the intelligent folks, and there are plenty in the WNBA, are saying, will you two idiots just shut up? Sit out.
Girl, y'all benefited from everything. Y'all youngins benefited from NIL.
What does that mean? We deserve more.
This goes beyond entitlement. It's delusion at its peak. Today, we're going to dissect why Angel Reese is so off base, how she's hurting the WNBA, and why no one would give a damn if she actually sat out. We're going to reveal how absurd this meltdown is.
You lost 40, 50 million. You know who would clap for you all sitting out? The NBA. So they don't have to subsidize your dumbasses to the tune of 40 to 50 million.
Angel Reese wants superstar money, but she can't even make a layup. Let's start with the on-court issues, because if you're going to demand more cash, you should at least be playing at an elite level, right? Well, Reese is far from that. In game after game, she's putting up brick after brick, struggling to finish easy shots and shooting some of the most inefficient numbers we've seen. One quick glance at her field goal percentage tells you everything you need to know. You can't be a post player shooting in the mid-30s and expect anyone to take you seriously, especially when you're the worst in the league at shots within 5 feet from the rim. Even her own fans have started pointing out how she pads her rebounding stats by constantly missing her own shots and grabbing the board. It's not elite play, it's just glorified stat chasing. Angel Reese is out here demanding NBA-level money while missing layups, turning the ball over, and stirring up drama instead of dominating games, instead of letting her game do the talking. She's built a reputation for trash talk, unnecessary scuffles, and over-the-top antics. But here's the problem: none of it translates to actual success on the court.
She just threatened the lockout. If y'all don't give us what we want, we sitting out. This is why sometimes you probably should have somebody look over a podcast. She's threatening to go on strike. I actually understand it's the way negotiations work in the CBA, not on a podcast.
Despite being one of the most controversial characters in the WNBA due to her history of making fun of Caitlin Clark, starting arguments, and then acting like the victim when things don't go her way, Reese somehow feels that she is a big part of the league's expansion and should be paid more as a result.
Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layups? Not I.
Let's obtain one item. Angel Reese, who is straight, isn't leading the WNBA or even coming close to it. The numbers clearly show that Caitlin Clark is the reason for the surge and popularity, and she is shooting about 35% from the field. Could someone please explain to me why anyone would watch someone who shoots 35% from the paint? Grabbing her own rebounds from her own missed shots. When Clark plays, arenas sell out, TV ratings skyrocket, and ticket prices triple. When Clark isn't involved, attendance drops and interest fades. Reese, on the other hand, hasn't moved the needle one bit, yet she has the audacity to act like she's on Clark's level in terms of growing the league. That's not confidence, it's pure delusion. Now Reese is taking her entitlement even further by threatening a lockout if the WNBA doesn't start paying her more. Let's be real, why should the league invest? Why should owners invest more money in a player who hasn't demonstrated her ability to dominate when she isn't even a top player in her position? Reese presents herself as an MVP contender when, in fact, she still has a ways to go before being named one of the WNBA's finest. She believes that because social media hypes her up, she is immediately more valuable. But in basketball, and most definitely not in business, hype does not equate to value.
Angel Reese wants credit. The reason why WNBA is up is because of Angel Reese. She's not getting enough credit. She did this too. She taunted Caitlin Clark. She made this whole thing.
Reese should attempt honing her skills first if she truly wants to increase her pay. She should concentrate on winning games, playing intelligent basketball, and becoming indispensable on the court. She won't go anywhere by whining about her pay and starting pointless drama.
But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. because she wins the national title. First thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that.
The best thing is that the WNBA wouldn't miss any of the recent players like DJ Carrington. In fact, the league would even benefit from their absence due to their pointless antics.
And isn't she shooting like 35% from the field? Can somebody tell me who in the world watches a 35% shooter from the paint that is basically grabbing her own rebounds from her own missed shot?
The WNBA will keep expanding whether or not Angel Reese plays because Caitlin Clark and a few other outstanding players have the true star power, whereas Reese would just be another player who made big talk but couldn't deliver on it on the court.
Like, if I'm an NBA owner, I didn't get rich by wasting a couple million on something that has no chance of making money. These two, sit out. See what happens. Now, I would miss watching the Fever. I would miss watching Caitlin Clark, but I wouldn't miss anything.
Reese and Carrington are out there pretending that the WNBA is making billions of dollars. But let's face it, the league still depends on the NBA for financial support. These players expect NBA-level pay without even knowing how their own league functions.
If Angel Reese came into the league without Caitlin Clark, nobody would know who Dijon Carrington was, her sidekick, or no one would know who Angel Reese.
Let's compare it to the NBA, which generates billions of dollars a year from ticket sales, TV deals, sponsorships, and merchandising. The WNBA continues to lose money each year. In fact, the league still depends on the NBA for funding, which brings in between $40 and $50 million a year to keep it afloat.
I just hope y'all know the WNBA don't pay my bills at all. I don't even think that pays one of my bills. Let me do the math real quick.
He might cover that. Yeah, it covers that. It definitely covers that.
What is I don't even know my salary.
This is where Ree truly reveals her ignorance. She recently voiced her displeasure on a podcast about upcoming WNBA rookies will be earning more than her as a result of the upcoming collective bargaining agreement. She behaved as though this was some sort of enormous injustice, utterly disregarding the fact that every professional league experience's salary increases over time as revenue grows. That's just basic sports economics. Rather than concentrating on raising her game to land a larger contract in the future, Reese is out there complaining about hypothetical paychecks that don't even exist.
No, my rent is more than that. It's $8,000. I'm living beyond my means.
However, let's address the most significant myth. Reese continues to promote the notion that she is in charge of the WNBA's expansion.
Actually, if you really want to go into business, you need to pay some money back. You made absolutely nothing. You haven't really enhanced the league. Caitlin Clark has.
We have to be completely honest about this, whether we like it or not. 90% of this revived or renewed interest is really based around one singular player.
Reality check. She isn't Caitlin Clark, and the statistics show it. Clark is the reason behind every significant increase in WNBA attendance and viewership this season. Not because of Reese, but rather because Clark is a generational talent who has fundamentally altered the league's landscape. Indiana Fever games are selling out nationwide.
If I was funding this league, I'd say, all right, hold on. You got a golden goose. We all got one in Caitlin Clark. These people that are criticizing Caitlin Clark, these people that are hitting Caitlin Clark, these people that are talking as if they are as important as Caitlin Clark are hurting our opportunity. They're hurting the brand.
In contrast, people aren't lined up to watch Reese's games because of her missed layups and pick fights. The WNBA is dominated by a select group of marketable superstars, and Reese isn't one of them.
I mean, you want to grow the game? All right, grow the game. All I'm saying is if you want to play in the big leagues, if you want to be somebody that transcends the game, you got to have a personality. I will give Angel Reese this. She has a personality. It's ignorance. It's stupid. I mean, it's really stupid.
However, she still feels that she should receive a huge salary because she is loud and dramatic. However, sports salaries are determined by value rather than noise. If the WNBA were a billion-dollar industry, players could certainly negotiate for enormous contracts. But since the league is still having financial difficulties and Ree isn't even close to being one of the best players, why should she be receiving a larger check?
We'll continue to use my voice to speak for what we want and deserve as a league. Thank you. No, that's not what you did. You said me, I. They're going to get more than us. I deserve more, blah, blah, blah.
In fact, if stars like Reese chose to retire, WNBA owners could be relieved since it would mean they wouldn't have to continue spending money on subpar products. The harsh reality is that Reese's entitlement and total ignorance are placing her in a terrible situation. She believes she is pressuring the NBA to give her a huge pay increase, but
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
all she is doing is showing how little she knows about the sports industry. If Reese and her peers follow through on their vacuous threats to withdraw, the league won't fail. In fact, it will likely flourish without them. Next, we'll examine why Angel Reese's most recent outburst is making her appear even worse, how she is damaging her own reputation, and why she is causing irreparable harm to her future in the league.
And the Fever are going to be over 200,000 higher than the next highest total attendance in league history. Clarkonomics, my friend!
The WNBA isn't the biggest threat to Angel Reese's career at this point. Rather than demonstrating her value through skill and production, she is out there making demands that no sane person would take seriously. She's acting as though her absence would somehow harm the league, but let's face it, nothing would change. Angel Reese is replaceable. She's not an MVP-caliber player, a dominant scorer, or even a consistent presence on the court. She's an ineffective shooter who struggles to finish. The WNBA would lose nothing at all if she chose to stay out of the game because the rim instigates pointless arguments and feeds on controversy rather than talent.
I have a suggestion for you. Don't sit out. You have a real opportunity right now. The only time, think about it, baseball is going to go away on ESPN. ESPN is pushing women's sports like never before. Instead of having every single person with a reasonable mind say, look, morons, nobody's going to miss you. This is your time. Take advantage.
On their podcast, Ree and Dee Carrington made a big splash by saying, if you don't give us what we want, we're sitting out. But the real question is, who would care? This isn't the NB, where a superstar sitting out would send shockwaves through the league. In the WNBA, players like Reese taking a break would hardly register. In fact, WNBA owners might even welcome it. The league is already having financial difficulties, and with players demanding money, it doesn't have a few of them stepping away could help keep things afloat. Should teams invest in real stars like Caitlin Clark? The answer is clear. Either bring in record numbers or spend money on players who cause more controversy than actual output.
Dejanay Carrington, you wouldn't even know who she was if she didn't try to beat up Caitlin Clark in a game. You wouldn't even know, but these two clowns got together as the dumbest people in sports and saying, wait for it, they need more money, threatening to hold out if they don't get what they want.
A reason exists. Elite athletes are cautious with their language because they understand that reputation counts. It's not only about basketball, it's also about commercial endorsements and public opinion, but Angel Reese is out there, rashly disclosing information about CBA talks on a webcast, babbling about pay, and making baseless threats that only serve to undermine her reputation. The WNBA's best players know that genuine talks take place behind closed doors, not on social media or in heated podcasts, so even her own teammates must be cringing. Rather than bolstering her argument, Reese is providing WNBA owners more excuses.
I think Angel's more concerned about being an influencer, content creator, over being a better basketball player. This was her taking pictures, hanging out with some rappers and producers, etc.
You think you could get a bucket in this format, full court 3-on-3?
You don't think I can get a bucket?
Yeah.
If Angel Reese on my team, yeah.
Excuses to disregard her. Let's face it, Angel isn't the reason the WNBA is finally taking off. Reese. While Reese is doing the exact opposite, drawing the league into needless drama rather than fostering its growth, Caitlin Clark is the reason new fans are tuning in, ratings are skyrocketing, and arenas are selling out. She and Carrington are pretending to be the main attraction when, in fact, they are just background noise.
Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion. She has no skill. She knows that she's not a very good basketball player. That's why she spends so much time half naked and taking pictures and promoting things that have nothing to do with basketball.
This is Angel Reese, the content creator side. It's pretty clear basketball is her top priority. I cannot imagine how anybody could view this athlete in any other way. It's clear basketball is front and foremost. This is all helping with things like shooting better from the field and missing layups. She has no rhythm, just like she can't make a layup. Practice layups. OnlyFans income.
Angel, let's be honest. Since she has positioned herself as Caitlin Clark's so-called rival, Reese's time in the spotlight is coming to an end. However, rivalries only matter when both players are equally talented, and let's face it, Reese isn't even close. If she continues to play poorly, have attitude issues, and act entitled, she will eventually become irrelevant, while players like Clark will continue to elevate the WNBA, build their brands, and make more money.
I cannot believe this is actually a clip that somebody put out to try to make her look good. This makes her look terrible. I'm shocked. That was pathetic. And then finally, she makes the layup. We're celebrating that? Really? Taller than hell out there. Can't hit a layup. Get in the lab, shoot 200 layups a day, every single 365 days. Is there anybody else in the WNBA or NBA that does this more than Reese? From tonight's game, third quarter, in 16 seconds, Reese took 4 shots, missed the first 3 shots, got an offensive rebound off her own 3 misses, and then finally made the 4th. But, quote, double-double, this looks just like Chicago Sky shit from last year.
Payrolls in the proper manner, here's the irony. Reese's best option, if she truly wanted a larger salary in the future, would be to support the WNBA's expansion, but instead, she's actively harming it by threatening a lockout, causing needless controversy, and dividing the league when it should be uniting. She's sabotaging the very advancements that could eventually help her.
You gotta see this clip. Runs down court with the basketball, 3-4 steps ahead of everybody, has an easy layup, and throws it to the girl behind her. No skills.
So Lexi Hall's right here, right? She's going to come out here. She gets the ball, going to pass it into Angel. Look at this, folks. That's Lexi Hall. Wide ass open. Does she get the ball? Angel not only did not pass the ball back out to Lexi Hall, but she missed another freaking layups.
Even though Angel Reese can whine all she wants, the WNBA will still exist without her, and nobody will notice because she isn't the reason it's doing well. She isn't the face of women's basketball, and given her awful shooting skills, she most certainly doesn't deserve NBA money. She won't get far with her incessant drama and feeling of entitlement. If she truly wants to make more money, she should concentrate on making shots, avoiding useless altercations, and genuinely helping the league succeed rather than dismantling it at this rate. As actual stars take center.
People thought there was great momentum. People thought Angel Reese could draw. No, nobody wants to watch Angel Reese. Come on.
We know that the WNBA numbers with her and versus the numbers in the WNBA without her also have a major gap. And this really makes us realize the power of Caitlin Clark, the appeal of Caitlin Clark.
Stage, Angel Reese is headed to become just another forgotten name in WNBA history. Keep shining, Angel. So go ahead. Let us know in the comments whether you believe Reese is making the WNBA worse with her nonsense, or if she is simply another loud voice pleading for attention. Make sure to subscribe and set on all alerts so you don't miss anything. We'll see you in the next one after you click the video on the screen.